Over the last year and a half, I've been working with people with various forms of disordered eating. It could be binging, it could be purging, it could be night eating, chewing and spitting, whatever. And some of those people happened to be in college or grad school. They were younger, they were 19, 20, 21, 22. I can totally empathize with them because I was in college and grad school with an eating disorder. Mine started the end of my third year in college. That's when I got really interested in nutrition. I started working at Whole Foods and I cleaned up my diet, which was a good thing to an extent. But then I turned into this orthorexic male and I had no muscle mass, had no testosterone. Everything went south really fast. A couple of years later, I went back to school to get some prerequisites for grad school. That's when I was in this binge restrict mode. So I would binge one day and then go 3 or 4 days without eating. By the time I got to grad school, then I was just binge eating and then not eating for 1 day or 2 days. And from my last year in college to my first day in PT school, which is a span of about 4.5 years, I gained about 35 pounds. So I understand the experience that young adults have when they are in grad school, when they are in college. If you have disordered eating and you're in college and you're in grad school, you should drop out. No, don't do that. I think you should keep going. But it is really hard to perform well when you are a student because so much of your mental energy, so much of your physical energy too, is being directed towards this habit. You're thinking about it, you're thinking about the cost of the last episode, you're thinking about how am I gonna compensate, and then you spend all this time in the gym. Then you have to spend time procuring the food, going to gas stations and convenience stores and grocery stores or whatever just to get your next fix. Then you eat it, then you have to clean it up. The whole cycle, the whole process consumes a vast amount of energy. I'm not sure how I got through school, and I don't know how I graduated, honestly. I mean, it was a miracle that I finished it all. But my point is, the sooner you fix this, the better, because yes, you can graduate, yes, you can do well, but it is going to be that much harder. And why make it that much harder when you don't have to? Having an ED on the side is like having a part-time job when you shouldn't have a part-time job. When you're in college, you're taking 15, 18 hours of credits, and you get to grad school and it's like 18 to 22 consistently. There isn't a large margin of error. So this is something you really need to tackle now. You need to have a sense of urgency here. This is serious. This isn't something that you can wait to do. This is not something that you can put in your file drawer and come back to later. This is not something that you want to procrastinate on. This is a problem that will significantly impair your ability to perform well. It will make it hard to get into the school you want, and it's going to make it harder to stay in the school that you want. It's going to create a lot of anxiety. All that mental energy that you should be using to study and memorize and prepare for the next exam is going to be directed towards this one habit that isn't serving you in any way. Having that sense of urgency is really important. What do you do for help? Well, you subscribe to channels like this. I'm not the only channel. I don't pretend to have all the answers, and there are other channels out there that can provide you advice. There's also online coaches like myself. There are online dietitians. We live in the online world. Okay, that's where we do most of our stuff. We spend more time there than we do in the physical world. But this is a good thing because when I was struggling at 24, 25, 26, there were no options like that. I mean, maybe there were, I just didn't know they existed. I didn't find them on YouTube. Wasn't using Instagram at the time. I wasn't really involved in social media. Maybe if I had gone to the search engine and typed in online coach for binge eating, I would have found something. I don't know. But there are so many more options available. If you don't seek help, it's on you because it's so easy to find somebody. If you're concerned about cost, ask them if they do pro bono, which means that you provide a service and the client names his or her price. I offer this service. By the way, I don't take an unlimited amount of people, but sometimes people come to me that are students. They don't have a lot of money because you're broke when you're in school, and they say, hey, I can't really afford that, and then they pay me whatever they can. And I encourage other coaches and dietitians to do the same. Healthcare workers do it. Why not coaches and dietitians? The next thing I want to say is you don't have to tell your classmates and teachers. In fact, I don't think you should, because then they're going to be concerned about you. Then the cat's out of the bag, and telling other people doesn't necessarily solve the problem. You would think it would. You would think if I tell somebody else, then there's that pressure. There's that pressure to actually do better and to fix this problem. What ends up happening is other people know about it, it creates more anxiety, and then you're thinking, oh man, now they know about it. If you feel like you need to tell somebody, fine, go ahead and tell somebody. But I went years and years and years without telling anybody. Nobody in school knew I was doing this. None of my professors knew, my parents didn't know, my classmates didn't know, none of them knew anything about this. And looking back, that was probably my best option. I would seek help first, I would start making progress and then tell them. It's a lot easier to tell somebody you know that you have this problem when you are on the path of recovery, when you are actively making improvement. How do you manage this? Let's say you can't find help, you can't afford help, whatever. Okay, what is the best time for you to study? Is it in the morning? Is it in the evening? If so, make that off limits, meaning that's your time to study. Had I done it again, I would have woken up at 5:30, studied, and then gone to school, because I never binged in the morning. I don't know why, I never did. I always waited until the evening. That was my time to relax and have fun. So have at least a couple hours a day where you can do some solid studying. You know, no news, no email, no social media, no binging, no eating, nothing. Just you and the books, or you and the laptop, or whatever. Then I'll say this, start to confine this behavior. If you can't let it go completely, here's what you can do. You can tell yourself, I'm only going to do this at this time, and I'm only going to have these foods. This serves several purposes. It means that there are certain times of the day when you're not doing this. That means you can study, you can get things done. But it also gives you that out. It says, okay, I don't have to completely remove this habit from my life. I like the comfort, I like the escape, I like the entertainment. I can still have it, just not at these times. And then when you tell yourself, I'm only gonna have these foods, like my 5 favorites, it liberates mental energy, because you don't have to think about what you're going to binge on anymore. Nope, it's going to be these 5 things and that's it. That way you can stock up and you're not making all of these trips. I wasted so much time, especially in the evening, going from store to store to store, trying to get this, trying to get that. I had no idea what I was going to buy. And keep in mind, these tips are temporary. Okay? Your ultimate solution is to get help, overcome this, and move on. I'm just saying, in the meantime, these are some tips that I would have used to save myself time and mental energy. And then finally, I'll say this, have some structure in your day. Are there certain times when you do something? Are there certain days of the week that you do something? I did this when I was in grad school. I always cleaned my apartment on Saturday evening, because there was no school that day. I had to study in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I would clean things, I would make things look pretty, I would organize things, do laundry, whatever. Cleaning up your home can be therapeutic. It's good exercise sometimes. And it also gives you this sense that you have order and structure in your life. Have set bedtimes and also have set times to go work out. The more structure you have, the better. Set appointments with other classmates and professors. Let's say you need to practice certain skills or you're gonna study. The more appointments you have, the more time you're spending with other people, the more time you spend outside of the home, the better. It's when you're home alone and you have nowhere to go, that's the danger. And then finally, have a day where you don't have any episodes. Make it your Sabbath. I did this on most Sundays, usually because Saturday was so awful. But I wanted to start the week right. I didn't want to have an episode on Sunday. Even when I was in the depths of my disorder, I said, okay, Sunday is going to be my Sabbath. Sunday is going to be the safe day. Some days I would fast completely. But I wanted to start the week right, and I had so much open time on Sunday. That was the best time to do that. These are all good tips, but you need to have a sense of urgency. You need to fix this as fast as you can. And there are so many options available online. There's a solution for everything these days. There's apps for disordered eating now, so you have no excuse. Do you have an ED and you're in college or grad school? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you found this video educational and entertaining. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my links below. If you liked this video, I'm sure you'll like one of the other videos that you see on the screen. Click one of them and I'll see you there. And as always, eat the way you're designed to.